Today I will be reviewing Breath of Fire 1 for the Game Boy Advance. This is the second release of the game. It was a port from the Super NES, and before I start the review, let's do a little comparisons between the two versions. First, we'll look at the in-town graphics of the Super NES version, as well as the menu system. The menu system within the original SNES version is a little bit of a bitch because you have to go through so many menus just to look at something as simple as an item description, and just the layout is not very well thought out. But I mean, this game was made a long time ago. Next, let's look at the in-town graphics and menu system for the GBA port. What you should notice most is that the menu system here is far improved. Items have descriptions that aren't buried within menus. It's just much more functional. The combat in the SNES version is pretty good. Again, it suffers from the same menu flaws that the regular menu has, but I mean, overall, the graphics in the SNES version are quite a lot better than the GBA. As you can see here, the menu system in combat is far improved. This speeds up combat quite nicely, and they sort of took the character portrait system from Breath of Fire 4 and put it into this game, which is nice because you get a nice little portrait, and it's just laid out a lot better. Another improvement in the Game Boy Advance version is that there is an auto dash feature which you can turn on in the options menu, which allows your character to run. This may not seem like a huge feature, but you move very, very slowly in the original Super NES version, so having that feature is very nice. Overall, all these little changes that they made is the reason why I chose to play the Game Boy Advance version. Granted, the graphics in the Super NES version are a lot better. They're still very good in the GBA, and graphics to me, for these older style Japanese RPGs, aren't everything. So with that, let's move on to gameplay. Seeing as how old this game is, I'm referring to the original version, there are a number of innovative features. For example, once Bo joins your group, you can hunt wild animals on the world map. Successfully kill one, and it will drop a useful item such as meat, which heals your entire party. The game also has flaws that are commonly present in older RPGs, such as these. Take the encounter rate. It is atrociously high, which can be frustrating when you just want to get to the end of the dungeon and progress the story. Then of course there is the main reason to play any Breath of Fire game. You can become a dragon. If you haven't played a Breath of Fire game before, or didn't know that you would eventually be able to wreak dragon destruction upon your foes, it will come as a bit of a surprise because it doesn't actually become available until you're pretty far into the game. Being as this was the first in the series, I'll forgive the fact that the dragon mode is ridiculously overpowered. Once you turn into a dragon, you become incredibly strong, and unlike future Breath of Fire games, you don't lose AP each turn. In other words, you can remain as a dragon for the duration of the battle. All in all, the gameplay is pretty solid and standard, with the dragon feature really being the only standout. When it comes to the story, don't expect much. It's a basic old school storyline. You are the last warrior of the Light Dragons who have been eradicated by the evil Emperor Zog of the Dark Dragons, who seeks to reawaken the goddess Tyr through the use of 6 keys to unseal her, so that he may wish to rule the world. And that's it. The dialogue doesn't help much either, as it's not very entertaining. What's more is that it is often not helpful. You'll find yourself confused on more than one occasion as to where you're supposed to go or what you're supposed to do next. So, yeah, the story kind of sucks. Overall, I honestly can only recommend this game to players looking for a bit of nostalgia, or to people who really enjoy the later Breath of Fire games such as 3 and 4 but have never tried out 1 and 2. I'll be reviewing 2 next, by the way. Because other than those reasons, the game is pretty bland. I'm not saying it's bad by any means, just nothing spectacular. Alrighty, that wraps up my review. Thanks for watching.